Yeah, I think we're on.
Are we there? Are we there?
Yeah, I think we're...
Hello?
Everyone? Hey, everyone. I'll close those down.
Can't you tell this is their first time doing it?
Yeah, not much at all. Yeah, if anyone's on, if you could drop us a message just to let you know whether you can hear everything okay.
Oh, hi, you're on. Hello, Jessica.
Jacka.
Jacka, sorry. Oh yeah, look, I can see it here as well.
So we're trying to do 3 screens. Three screens at once.
If you could see these set up, what our living room looks like.
But it's a better picture on this one.
Yeah.
I'm pointing here, but actually it's up here as well. Yeah, this is interesting.
You're both fine. Hello, Sandra.
Hey, Nikki and Debbie on Facebook. The guys on Facebook, if you could let us know whether the audio's okay, because we haven't done a test on Facebook at all.
Should have done this on the test version, but
I tried that and it went all weird.
So YouTube is all right.
Awesome.
It is a little bit delayed though. That's weird.
It's delayed anyway, isn't it, on the live stuff? All good. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you, Facebook people. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, we'll see we'll see how this goes. Why are you laughing?
No, because it's just interesting, and the cat's meowing out there.
The cats are literally about to start. You can tell they're going to start, fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Hello everyone. I feel weird not doing doing both cameras. If you are new to us, I'm Chris.
I'm John.
And we are Sons of Asgard. It sounds like a band.
Yeah.
Sons of Asgard.
Don't sing.
Don't. I'm really offended by that. If you haven't met us before, we own a witchcraft shop in Glastonbury, in the UK. Thank you, Sue, for letting us know. And we used to do live streams and tutorial classes and stuff, weren't they? Before years ago, before we actually moved down to Glastonbury. We did a couple since we've been here, but they were more on the spellcraft side of things. So we thought we would do a crystal live, but not in the crystal live sense, because I know a lot of people sell crystals. That's not what we're doing this for. It's more of like a Q&A for you guys to ask questions. So if you haven't been to us in store and maybe have a question that you haven't been able to ask online somewhere, or you've asked it online and have been bombarded with answers or things telling you should do this or shouldn't do that, that's kind of why we wanted to do this. And also it's just like something a bit different.
Yeah.
Really. So obviously the first one we're doing tonight is about crystals and gemstones. If you've got any other questions that pop up that are semi-relevant, you're more than welcome to ask them. However, we don't want to go too far off topic. Hi Roxy, and hello Alistair. And we will try and answer as many or as much as we can to the best of our knowledge. We'll give you kind of reference stuff if there's anything that we don't know, and if there's things that we literally just can't tell you, we'll just tell you we don't know. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. If it's something that you guys want on an interactive level going forward, then we'll do other themed ones. So we'll do like moon magic based stuff, maybe some candle magic. We will do the live almost like tutorial. I want to say sing-alongs, but it's not a sing-along, is it?
No, that's spell-alongs. Spell-alongs.
Spellcraft along. Hello, Natalie. Yeah, we will do those going forward, but they will be the ones we've done in the past, for instance, we did like an Ostara one, and it was very much a case of, as we were going through, you had to think of this intention or focus on that. And so going forward, they're going to be very specific. So we're going to be doing something for protection for the home, or something to help with focus and concentration. So they'll be very particular things rather than generic ones.
Yeah, and obviously it's in a bit more of a relaxed environment for this one, so you will have to bear with us
We're at home.
for the moment. Yeah, we are at home.
I don't know what that was.
So yeah, there might be ones where we'll be sitting on the sofa having a chat, and then the next one may be back in the shop, because that's where the bits that we
All the
might
stuff
need
is.
will be there. So yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of a play around with it. It's something that we're just getting into the groove with. So it's always fun to tweak anything that's.
I love how you got a bit of Madonna in there.
Did I?
Into the groove.
Ah, yes. I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so there will be others, different places, different things. Let us know what you want in the comments down below in the chat. It gives us a chance to then have a look at what we can do next time for you guys, because this is predominantly for you all. If you can't get down and see us or have conversations with us, this is a good opportunity for us to take your input on board and then give something back out to you guys. So yeah, so I'd probably say let's get into the crystal Q&A.
Crystal Q&A, yeah. So
yeah,
by all means, pop your questions in the chat, either on Facebook or YouTube. It feels really weird. It's really strange. If anyone knows a way where we can combine this, so we're not looking at two different things, that would be amazing. Because I know that someone's going to go, "Will you do it on Instagram as well?" And I can't be doing with three.
our table isn't big enough at home.
The table's not big enough.
No.
To the crystal dome. I like that. The crystal maze.
That would be pretty cool.
It was awesome. The old one though.
Yeah,
Not the
yeah,
new.
Richard O'Brien rules. Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to drop your
So Kerry is saying no sound on Facebook, but can hear you on YouTube.
oh. Thank you for that, Alistair. They can obviously hear us on here because they're answering the questions. That's
Awesome.
great. We'll check that out for the multiple streaming, Alistair. Thank you for that.
Yeah, not the Crystal Dome.
Cool. Not the crystal dome. Yeah, so if you guys have got any questions regarding crystals, be it either choosing, cleansing, charging, consecrating, recommendations for particular things, whatever.
Shiny, pretty ones that you might like.
Shiny, pretty ones.
You
Yeah,
know, favourite crystals. Give us a.
absolutely.
Yeah. So while you're getting them in, and I find the other ones. Obviously, I'm keeping an eye on the chats. If something does pop up, I will try and get to it. The chat can jump from what I've seen in other videos, so please bear with us. Don't think because we haven't answered it, it's not going to be answered. It just might mean that we've not got to it straight away. And please don't spam. It can get a tad annoying, and things will be done. Yes.
Awesome.
So Spirit of Avalon, one of my favourite is Presetti Bluestone.
Oh.
So Presetti Bluestone.
Oh, interesting choice in the sense of it's not
one that I
it's
think
not a
most
common
people,
crystal. Yeah.
Most people would originally go for, shall we say?
There was before Presetti Bluestone sort of became a bit more popular in the New Age field of things. And for people that don't know, Presetti Bluestone is the same mineral that Stonehenge is made from, and it comes from the Presetti Hills in Wales. There were actually people on eBay selling chippings of Presetti Bluestone, which they claimed was from Stonehenge, which is one of the reasons why they now don't always let you right the way up. It's only on certain times. Because yeah, they were, and you can still see if you go to Stonehenge and you I think it's just winter and summer solstice, unless you hire it out for private things. You can actually see where people have tried to take chippings from it. Obviously, don't do that, please. But yeah, Presetti Bluestone is an amazing crystal, and for me, it's one of the ones that has quite a grounding and centering energy, but is also high vibration as well. There's a reason it was chosen for Stonehenge, whatever you believe Stonehenge was created for. And I find that it holds energy and essence really easily. But if you are ungrounded or you are a bit flitty, if that's the right word?
Yeah,
flitty.
Yeah, could use flitting.
Stonehenge stone or Presetti Bluestone is probably not for you, because it's very it's like like being King's Cross Station with trains arriving all the time. It's like it's a constant receiving of information, which is great if that's what you're doing. So if you wanted to like channel, it's bad analogy, isn't it?
No, Sandra's just said it's not a pretty one. Laugh at.
It's not a pretty one. I like it.
It's nice. You've got the greeny grey with the
white
bits
specks,
of white in. So yeah, it's if you like that kind of colour combination. Yeah, it's not something shiny like labradorite, personal favourite, or pyrite, but yeah, Stonehenge stone.
Yeah,
yeah, Cassetti bluestone. Yeah, no matter which one you say, someone could, or would know what you're on about when you're talking about it.
Oh, I'm losing things.
So another one from Jess on YouTube. I've just got some black kyanite. Do you have any tips for working with crystals surrounding death, rebirth / rebirth?
Slash rebirth.
Slash rebirth.
Oh, I'm a big kyanite fan. It's probably one of my top 3 crystals. I'm a huge fan of blue kyanite. I'm particularly fond of the green as well. Oh yeah, the blue kyanite is there.
Oh no, it's not on YouTube. Oh, hang on. Oh,
It's
turn me
behind your
around on
head.
YouTube.
There we go.
The blue kyanite
That's
there.
blue kyanite there.
People on Facebook are like, what?
Yes. So, out of all the different kyanites, black kyanite is particularly good for realigning all of the chakras. Chakras. I'm going to flip between chakra and chakra, which is going to frustrate you like hell. It's really good for rebalancing and recentering all of them. So it's not connected to one particular chakra. You could, in essence, I guess, use it for either your Earth Star or your Gaia Gateway. But it's how have I had it described before? Like a washing machine for each of the chakras. The analogies are going to come thick and fast today, aren't they? And it's like, rather than taking energy in or out, it just buffs up the energy that's already there in that chakra column. So if you've got a particular energy center that is underworking or overworking, the black kyanite won't necessarily clear it for you, but it will kind of reorganize the energy that's in there. So you'll need something else to either re-energize or take stuff away at the same time with the black kyanite. I really like pairing black kyanite with black moonstone.
Ooh,
okay. It's very Lorraine Kelly.
I feel like I'm on a bit of a talk show host. So.
I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing.
Now we're going over to Sophie in the shop. She's not there. She's really not.
She's not there. It's like way past closing time. Black moonstone is really good if you are doing anything outside of your comfort zone. So a lot of times black moonstone would be used as a companion during shamanic journey and when you're going to places that are new to you. And obviously the majority of people... Natalie says you make a beautiful Lorraine.
I'm not doing the accent.
No, please don't. Please don't. I totally forgot where I was going with that. Black moonstone, shamanic journeying. So it helps you. It acts as like your guide and your protector when you're doing things that are outside of your comfort zone. So if you're going through that death rebirth transition, chances are it's a thing that is new to you. In which case, the black moonstone would pair really well with it. Is that the?
There we go.
Is that the question? It was. Death rebirth.
Yeah. Tips for working with crystals surrounding death.
I like. Oh! That would be the cats. Hold that thought, YouTube. We're coming back. The cats are just completely destroyed. It was going so well, and apparently not. There we go. So hopefully...
Oh, you can tell we're live. I'm sorry for anyone that has motion sickness.
I have motion sickness now after that. What is going on? Okay, so...
I think that's right.
Done?
Sorry, forehead.
I love it.
I think that's okay.
Oh, it was slow motion. I saw it going. Are we done now, guys?
Calm down, yeah?
Finished?
Lovely, amazing.
Right. So, black kyanite would be great, especially if you're looking to work on the more energetic side of things with the whole death rebirth. I would absolutely use some black moonstone with that. I would probably look at using something like a piece of pyrite because it's it's a success and like a manifestation crystal, even though I'm not keen on the word manifestation. There's a positive goal that we're trying to do from that whole death rebirth situation. So if it's something that you're looking at where you know where you want the outcome to be, but you know where you're going with it, then I would absolutely use the pyrite, because it will help you get to that end goal. So it's kind of putting that success on that end intention, if you like. I think for me in the past, I've only ever used smoky quartz for death rebirth. I love smoky quartz anyway, but that would be out with the old, in with the new, because it's a really good clearer energetically and with the meridians and the auric field. So yeah, unless it's something, if it was a specific death and rebirth thing, I think I would use the pyrite. If it was like a general, I feel like I'm going through a death rebirth, I would probably use the smoky quartz. And then coming out the other side of it as a rebirth crystal, what would your rebirth be?
Sorry, that was chat show. My rebirth. I don't actually know.
No?
I think something like, possibly for me, something like a pastel moonstone.
Oh, the
Just
soft
because
one.
it's
Yeah, new beginnings.
if you're coming out the other side of something, you've then got that nice, calm, supportive kind of feel while you're then kind of refinding your feet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for me, I think it would be a pastel
moonstone.
moonstone.
So pastel moonstone is your normal moonstone, like your like not peachy, like your off-white milky moonstone, not the white moonstone. And I think mine would probably be something like a carorite, charorite, however it is you want to say it, depending on where you are. So I think that for me is all about spiritual rebirth and finding, even though it might not be something spiritual that you're going through, finding the spiritual meaning in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd probably try those.
Awesome.
I've got a couple of questions on Facebook.
I was literally just about to
Go for it.
Go with one. So what's the best way to clean crystals? Is it the same for all? Difference of different ways. So, I didn't think that we'd get into the cleansing conversation this early
Hold
on.
off on the smudging. Yes, I said the word smudging.
Yeah, so people will use the term smudge, cleanse, clean,
Smoke, cleanse, smoke bless.
There are a multitude of ways that you can freshen crystals up, shall we say, the energy of crystals.
It's very polite.
Yeah. Some crystals don't like water, so things like selenite will slowly start to disappear. Malachite, yeah, it is malachite. Malachite isn't a great one for water either. Things like bumblebee jasper will turn sulfuric if it's in water.
Don't lick it. Don't lick the
cinnabar, that will could possibly then give you mercury poisoning, because it does have mercury in it. So
also known as death.
Yeah. The main thing we do in store, if someone buys a crystal from us, we'll do a smoke cleanse. We'll use either white sage, Palo Santo, or Honduras longleaf pine has been making a regular appearance in the pot of smudge things. People will use things like selenite. They'll pop their crystals on selenite or beds of amethyst to then charge once they've cleansed. So I would probably suggest having a look at what crystal you've got and seeing what is the best way for you to do it. Everyone has their own opinions in regards to cleansing, smoking.
What was that?
Music is now happening off the
I'm going to put the audio
computer.
I don't know what that's doing.
So for us, we know where we get our white sage, our Palo Santo. We're able to trace it back to source. We work directly with a reservation in. It is reservation, isn't it?
Yes.
I always get them too confused with reservation or conservation. So we get ours from a reservation in North America. So we speak and work directly with the people that grow it. They harvest it. They talk to us about it. So that's our main.
It's Alex.
Hello, Alex. So we use smoke cleansing for ours. Big tip is never in salt.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on the
Salt
salt
is
thing.
something that will then damage the crystalline structure of that crystal, which can then make it turn brittle. If you're then using it for things like crystal healing, any kind of chakra work, you've then got the possibility of that then being
Or just
broken or
anything.
damaged.
Yeah.
It's just not nice on the crystal. And you know, I'm guessing the majority, if not all, people are here because they work with energy. They're on the path, on a path spiritually. So the crystal comes from the earth. You need to make sure that it's being treated fairly. I don't know whether you guys have heard of things like crystal guardians. So yeah, going back to the original question, ramble.
You are.
Yeah, you can cleanse crystals with a multitude of things depending on that crystal. If you have a crystal and you're unsure of, I'm probably going to regret saying this, you can send them in to us, but make sure though, if you're taking a picture of them, they're in
Don't send us the actual crystal. Just send us a photo of the
it
crystal.
might get lost in the post if it's not. No, it's relevant. Take a photo of it, send it to us on a white background, bit of paper, and then we can.
Freya.
No. And then we can try and help identify it for you. If you want any further information on smudging, again, drop us a message in the comments below. We can always send you over some information via there. Okay. Next one on.
So, I'm just going to quickly jump in with about water. There is this list that apparently if it's a crystal that ends in "ite," you can't cleanse it in water, which isn't the case. You may be able to cleanse it in water, you just might not be able to make a crystal elixir from it. So, and they're two very, very different things because you're not necessarily putting it in water for a long period of time. With regards to the salt, I know a lot of books and a lot of places do say put it in salt. If you have an old piece of
Saved it.
quartz that you don't mind sacrificing, bury it in salt for 48 hours and then feel the surface of it. I guarantee you it will feel different. It would, and that's not an energetic thing.
It's a physical thing.
You'll feel the pitted surface, and once you start doing that, you won't get it back. So,
so
did you know you jumped one on Facebook?
I did. That's why I've gone back to it.
Okay.
I've jumped two. I've read that for this new moon, you should use black crystals. Is there a reason for this?
No. So, we're not really big fans of places that say you should. It should very much be about your intuition, as long as your intuition comes from a place of knowledge. So depending on what star sign the new moon is in, we would say what element does that relate to, and then what crystals relate to that element. So for instance, I don't even know what the new moon's in. If anyone knows what the new moon's going to be in, please pop it in the chat because I've got no idea. It's not something I keep up with. Full moons, yes, but the new moons we tend to not, which is silly. We should.
Witches.
Bad witches. Where was it going with that? Oh, Sarah's just put Aquarius. So if the new moon is in Aquarius, for example,
Hi Sarah.
Is that tomorrow? Is it tomorrow?
We really
it's really bad. We really should. We've got a moon calendar up as well, so we should know. Aquarius, if it is an Aquarius, then Aquarius is an air sign, so you would tend to stick to things that are yellow, white, clear, pastel blues. But there's no reason why you can't use any crystals. I don't know where the whole black crystal for this new moon in particular is coming from. If I was taking the kind of the magical sense of the moon, so I was literally splitting it into dark moon, full moon, and new moon, then my black crystals would be about my release, which is what I would do at the dark moon. The new moon would be my soft pastel colours because it's my new starts, my new beginnings, and then my full moon is when I'm doing my really big stuff, so I've got my really intense colours and my high vibrations. So yeah, to be completely honest with you, Joanne, I don't know where the black crystal thing has come from, unless someone's written something as like a ritual or ceremony specifically for that new moon. So
let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
we
I'd be interested to know where you've seen it and
have a look, do a little bit of research. Natalie, I've been given an amazing mottled crystal that glows under UV light.
Mottled?
Mottled.
Mottled?
This is naturally occurring. I can't find out what this is. Do you know of it?
It sounds like an opal off the top of my head, because opals have that mottled UV glow. And there aren't many crystals that glow under UV light. There's things like some fluorites do, mangano calcite does. Mangano calcite, my mind's gone completely blank.
Rose quartz has got the same thing, but it doesn't.
What's the one? I can see it in my head.
You said fluorite, didn't you?
Fluorite. Oh my god, I can see it. The opal does it as well. Yeah, if you can send us a picture, that would be amazing.
Or bring it down to the shop.
Or bring it into the shop.
Yeah, bring it down to the shop and we can have a look at it.
And if it's an opal, it could be Australian, it could be Ethiopian, and if it's one of the two and you've been given it, nice gift.
So we've got Lisa. Hi Lisa, this is hilarious, love it.
It's like a Laurel and Hardy show.
Claire, hi Claire. Amber, thanks so much for this. Had a question about a certain type of crystals. I have an altar dedicated to the god Mars. I've just read the other bit, Amber. I use a lot of jasper and citrine, but I would love some dedicated to more passion, self-love, but not rose quartz. Any ideas?
Oh, is that so? Strange question. Amber, is this Hecate amber? Possibly. If it is, great. You'll know as soon as.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So what was the question?
Had a question about a certain type of crystal. Has an altar dedicated to the god Mars.
Okay.
Use a lot of jasper and citrine, but I would love some dedicated to more passion and self-love, but not rose quartz. So I'm guessing by that you're looking at crystals that you want for passion and self-love, but not rose quartz.
Cool, because I probably wouldn't recommend rose quartz anyway. I have a love-hate thing with rose quartz. So things like garnet are really good for passion, drive, focus, not necessarily just in a romantic or a relationship sense, but with like your life goals and your life purposes as well. Garnets are really good for drawing in on a energetic level, someone on the same bond as you. So that's where the passion in a relationship side of things comes into it.
So would you say red garnet, Malaya or Hessianite?
Red garnet.
Garnet.
A red garnet or a star garnet would be great if you want to pay for the star garnet. You've also got things like fire quartz, fire agate. So fire quartz is also known as
hematoid.
Harlequin quartz. Hematoid is hematoid quartz, fire quartz. Fire agate would be really good for Mars. On a slightly kind of gentler level, you've got things like carnelian. Although it is fire, it's like a gently warming, gently stimulating fire energy. It's definitely not Mars energy. And it is Hecate amber.
It is?
Yeah. You should now forever be known as Hecate amber. It sounds like an incense. Hecate amber. I might have to look into it. There is amber in our Hecate incense. That's a bit weird. Anyway, and other things for self-love. So you've got things like rhodonite is really good for self-love or self-acceptance. Rhodochrosite would be good if you're trying to draw an external
influence
in. Yeah, good word. Good choice of words. Yeah, rhodochrosite is one of the ones that. So I had this conversation with a customer today. She was looking to draw love in and was told to go and get some rose quartz, which is great if you need to love yourself more. But if you want to draw it in from an external source, then rhodochrosite is amazing for that. And rhodochrosite is one of the very few pink crystals that it's connected with for me. So, trying to think what else you could use. What is it? Mars in particular. What else is so obsidian, because it's born of fire, would be really good, especially if you've got something like a mahogany obsidian, or what is the name of the other one?
What in the obsidians?
There's another obsidian which is Sophie was talking about the dragon obsidian. I can't remember what it's called. If you drop us a message and I'll ask Sophie when I see her next at the shop, and it's got a certain name, but she's known it as dragon something obsidian, but that would work as well. So
Awesome. So back over onto YouTube. We've actually got 3 questions
Awesome.
from James. So we'll try and do 1 or 2, but we will come back to it. So I'll make a note of them. How do you know if a crystal is actually a real one and not artificial?
The taste. No, I'm totally joking. I'll be honest with you. There are a lot of fakes out there at the moment that are really convincing. If you've never had the real crystal, like I don't know why, but we've decided to start manufacturing silica tiger's eye, like it's fake tiger's eye, and it looks stunning. But you can tell when you hold it, and I'm not talking like energetically. The feel of it doesn't feel right. It feels synthetic. It feels
Off.
a bit plastic.
Yeah.
We have noticed sometimes before when we've bought crystals, especially some more of the raw pieces, so maybe things like some amethyst, what else have we seen it, or some calcites, they've been lacquered. So the actual crystal is real, but they've been coated in like a weird resin to enhance the colour, which kind of defeats the object. They're great, they're pretty to look at. But
some of them will also have that kind of weird residue on them. Not. I'm just trying to think.
it's like an oily.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Some people will use that to kind of enhance the color of the crystal, but there's
It should wash off.
yeah,
Should.
yeah. If you're still feeling that once you've got, if it's a crystal that you're allowed to use water on, please no one go sulfur poison it. You'll still feel it on your hands. So yeah, good question. The next one.
Oh no, I've got more.
Oh, got more.
Do your research. Find out where it's come from. If you're going to a seller, ask them where it's come from. They should have more information about the sourcing or the not excavation,
The extraction
of it. The 3 to kind of be really wary of at the moment. Tiger eye is a big one. Malachite, there is a synthetic malachite going around that.
And it to me, I think it looks completely
It
different.
does look completely different.
Yeah.
It looks like someone's drawn the banding on the malachite. It's horrible. And then the other crystal we won't talk about.
Oh, the M.
Moldavite.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moldavite fakes going around. There are crystals that we sell some crystals that aren't real. So we sell things like opalite. We sell things like blue obsidian, which is all man-made. And we sell things like the gold stones. But we tell people when they buy them.
And things like the heat treated citrine.
Yeah.
You will have some people that will say it is citrine. Other people, will say it's heat treated. Share the information with people. If you're going to buy if you're going to buy crystals and you're going to spend money on them, make sure you know what you're buying. Yeah. Any more on that one?
Don't think so.
Amazing. Next one from James.
Oh no, the sound. Clink them. Like you'll hear if they don't sound right. You'll want like a clinky sound, not like a ding sound.
Helpful.
I'm so helpful.
Next question. What's the best night of the full moon to cleanse them? So, again, depending on who you read, some people will say that the full moon isn't great for cleansing, charging crystals. We will always charge and cleanse crystals on a full moon. That's just the way that we work. We're not saying that other people's thoughts, opinions, feelings on it is wrong. It's just not the way that we work on a magical level. Full moon normally consists of 3 nights, so the night before, the night of, and the night after. Any of that time is okay. I personally would always try and do it on the middle night, so the night of, just because in my little OCD-ish kind of world, I like to make sure that I'm doing it as close to that as possible. But obviously, everyone here are kind of like modern day witches. Can't always be done.
As opposed to old day witches.
Yeah, can't always be done on the night of the full moon. So the night before, the night after. And don't forget, if you're working magically, a lot of these things are tools that are aiding you and your own energy. So if you're that sounds a little bit hypocritical because I try and always do it on the full moon. Yeah, a lot of people will do it when they feel the time is right. Go with what feels best for you. If it's on a full moon, I personally would do it on the middle one.
Interesting.
What would you do it on?
None of them,
Oh.
because I wouldn't use the full moon to cleanse. I would use the full moon to charge.
Yeah.
So
But I like to cleanse and charge.
I would do
on
both
the
together,
full moon, yeah.
but I wouldn't use the moon.
The moon to cleanse.
The moon doesn't cleanse for me. The moon charges. So I would cleanse my crystals, and then if I had to pick a night, I would pick the middle one. Yeah, the middle. Yeah, I'd go with the middle one as well. As close to the actual full moon as you can, but it's yeah.
So another one on Facebook from Liz, and I hope that answered your question, James, in a roundabout
YouTube.
sort of way. So another one on YouTube. What is your crystal of choice to increase invisibility or avoidance of people you don't resonate with for one reason or another? I'm not going to say that brackets word because I don't know the rules on YouTube. So I won't say that, but I'm glad that you've done it, aka Liz.
I love the fact you passed that one over. Thank you very much. Actually, my first choice wouldn't be a crystal. It would be a herb. And I would use either mandrake or belladonna, both of which are for invisibility.
Okay.
And what it does is it makes your...
I didn't think he was going there with that, so
not
I'm so
belladonna
glad
to
you
the...
didn't.
Not give them...
Yeah.
Don't give them the belladonna. We don't do that. This is the wrong video for that. Both of those are really good for invisibility magically, in the sense that what it does is it draws your energy right the way in. So obviously we all have an auric field. I'm not going to teach you to suck eggs. Is that the right phrasing? Yeah. And all it does is it draws your energy right the way in, so that you can go through spaces or events undetected. So for example, the time when you might want to do it is if you're going out food shopping, if you're going to a big brand name supermarket. I don't know if
Well
we can say those things
done.
either.
Probably not.
Because it's advertising.
Yeah.
And you wanted to just get in and out, then what you could do would be to do something like carry the mandrake or the belladonna on you, being careful of both, seeing as they're toxic, and you find that you just get ignored. The only downside to doing that is that you will find that people will just walk into you, literally walk into you. So you can do it by using a tool or a crystal or a herb or anything like that, or you can just do it visually or energetically. I'm trying to think of a crystal that I would want to... Oh, hello Sophie on Facebook. While you're here, Sophie, before I forget, the obsidian that is the dragon thingy, that's really unhelpful, but can you remember what it's called? Because we were talking about it and I can't remember the name of it.
Post your comment below. So
crystals for
would
invisibility.
you say things like maybe a labradorite or a sheen obsidian may help kind of reflect back, just going back to the question.
The raw one, yeah.
Yeah, people you don't resonate with for one reason or another. Would you use something like that? Or Helen has said on Facebook, tiger eye.
So tiger's eye is really good for removing like negative psychic energy or repelling it away from you. But I guess it depends on the situation, because do you know you're going to come into contact with these people? In which case I wouldn't necessarily...
Put myself in that position, perhaps.
There is that. But if you can't help yourself from being in that scenario with those people, I would maybe try and find something just to protect my energy rather than hide from it. So I would go with tiger-eyed, labradorite or black tourmaline.
I was going to say someone, Alexander has just said, would black tourmaline help?
Yeah, so that kind of, they all act as kind of like your shielder, but to actually stop you from maybe like attracting them, if that's where you were going with that. Who was it that was asking?
Liz.
If it was like, if you wanted to kind of distance yourself from the people who were a different vibration, I don't think there is anything for that. So what I would do is I would just focus on my vibration instead, and I would just try and raise it above. So I would go things like dragon charred obsidian, Sophie said it's called, but that's what the shop she used to work in called it.
Don't know
she doesn't know the official name for it, but there is a type of obsidian which is dragon chard. It just, yeah. So that would be another one for Mars.
Thanks, Sophie.
I knew it was dragon something. Where are we going with that? Oh yeah, raising your vibration. So I would look at things maybe that are something like a dambarite or a celestite to try and keep you up, so that you don't. Morganite, yeah.
Morganite might be a good one.
So that you don't. Oh, and the obsidian is from Armenia. Thank you. So that you don't necessarily attract those unwanted essences, vibrations, people. Yeah. So
amazing. Hope that's helped, Liz. Let's have a look. What else have we got? Let's have a look on Facebook. There with do a dance, do a jig, do something.
Do a dance. You don't want to see me dance. It's not cool. Oh, it's Liz and Kim. Liz
and Kim.
House cleansing, Kim.
Oh, know who that is now. So Alexander, yeah, I'm saying that right. I've started meditating daily before going to sleep. This is with a view of doing a lot of work around healing my inner child, cleansing, unblocking my chakras and offloading for the day. What crystals would you recommend using for this? Oh, essential oils as well. I'm currently using no, I won't say that word.
Wintergreen?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're not a fan of it.
I do, because it smells like TCP.
So yeah, crystals of a nighttime, meditation for help around offloading stuff that's gone on with the day, unblocking chakras, inner child and cleansing. That's a lot going on.
That was going to be my first point. You are trying to do a lot in one meditation every night. I would break it down and maybe do like on a Monday night you did this type of meditation, and then on the Tuesday night you do the inner child, because that's a lot of, you're going to overload yourself energetically, because that's a lot of stuff. So what was the first one?
So first one we have healing my inner child.
Oh, so opals are really good for that. So you've got like white opal, yellow opal. There's I want to say oolong, but that's a T. It begins with an O. It's like a white milky opal. It's really good for inner child work. Things like morganite again, and the other pink one.
Petalite?
No.
Rose quartz?
No. Kunzite. Kunzite's really good for inner child work. And if there's things that you need to release from inner child, then prainite would work, but only use prainite if you're ready to release it, because prainite will take it away regardless. So it can sometimes create a, what do you have after a healing crisis, if you aren't ready for it to be taken away. So if you found the cause or the issue or the problem and you're ready to let go, release, prainite's really good.
Cleansing, unblocking chakras.
Black kyanite or bornite. Bornite,
that's one you don't really hear of.
It's not. So bornite is peacock ore in its natural form. And if you want to be really, I'm going to use the word lazy, but that's not what I mean. If you want to be really quick at balancing your chakras, put a piece of bornite in between your ankles, one above your head, and then just visualize light bouncing between the two, and it will balance them out for you. Well, it will attempt to balance them out. I'm not going to say it's a fix-all or a cure-all. And anything we say on here tonight is no substitution for medical advice. Probably should have said that.
Yes, we're not aiming to say that stuff cures and heals.
No.
And yeah. Where are we? Oh, hello Eve. Sorry, I'm getting to you with slowing. Offloading for the day. Sorry, Alexander.
Offloading. So I would go with something like a dravite. Alexander. I would go with something like a dravite, or other brown one, earth star. Bronzite. Bronzite. Either of those two are really good for opening up your earth star, which acts a bit like a trapdoor. So if you're carrying stuff from the day, it just flushes it out.
Little by little, though.
Yes.
Please don't overdo it.
And what's it? Essential oils.
Essential oils. So, evening-wise, you'd want something a little bit calming. If you're doing that in the meditations, you're not going to then want something else. I would probably say coming in from another.
I'm more concerned why you're using wintergreen. I mean, how is that relaxing in the slightest? It's
Some
vital.
people like it.
No, it's gross.
Voice went there.
You need some wintergreen. Gargle with that.
No.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
So yeah, I would go with the basics.
the meditative stuff. So things like neroli. I don't know if I'd use a lavender. Yeah, probably like a neroli or a jasmine. Jasmine's really good for releasing and stress relief, and
Maybe something like a gardenia.
gardenia would be good as well. Yeah. So
Um, Yeah, nice ones. Not for that.
it does not smell amazing at all. It's disgusting.
Hi
I'll let you have that one.
Eve. New moon's in Aquarius on tomorrow. Hi Helen. Where are we? I was here. Accidentally drugs people I hate. Where are we? It's from Natalie. I don't do that. Right, hang on. While I'm looking through on Facebook, let's go to the third question from James. Any good resources to identify them, as I've collected several over the years and can't remember what they are, bar my amethyst and my quartz?
Easy answer, no. Because you'll find that if you buy a crystal book and you're looking up amethyst, for example, they will show you a really high quality piece of amethyst in the book, which is really unhelpful unless you spent thousands on a really high quality piece. So you might have a piece of emerald that is just a, B grade piece of emerald that's cost you £6 to £7, but in the book you look in, they put a high quality gemstone piece that's cost thousands of pounds. So it's really not helpful for identifying.
I would probably say if you're buying a crystal in a shop, ask them if you can take a photo of the name or the crystal in situ, just so then when you get back you can then either compile a folder. Everyone's got a phone, a laptop, a computer at home. Then you can then kind of create your own crystal dictionary that you can then add to. Again, good for journaling, stuff like that.
And if there's anything that you're really stuck on, pop it on a piece of white paper and take a photo and send it to us, and if we can't identify it, we'll
try and get someone else to do it.
Saskia on Facebook says the rock identifier app is sometimes helpful.
There we go.
Awesome.
Not affiliated with them at all.
Not affiliated.
We have got another question on Facebook. It keeps jumping, everyone. Good stone for emotional protection. Ooh. And that is from Karen.
Is this Facebook?
It is Facebook.
Karen. My instant go-to is cactus flowers, which is really unhelpful because it's a herb, but they are really good for emotional protection.
But with crystals.
My option for emotional protection would be something like a mangano calcite, because it helps you express what's going on inside, but stops you from taking on other people's energy that might sway where you're feeling about that. So yeah, if you still want to be able to express, I would probably go with the mangano calcite. If you just want to close off your emotions to people who don't necessarily deserve it, or that aren't willing to have that two-way what's the word? That two-way interaction with you, then I would probably be more inclined to go with something like either a sapphire. I can see, but I've got another one in my head and I can't think of what it is.
Don't think about it, it'll come to you.
It'll come to me. So there is another one specifically for being emotionally selfish, and it's not emotionally selfish, it's emotionally being more self-preservative on an emotional level. I don't even know if that's English. Self-preservative on an emotion. You know what I mean. So I'll put it to one side and hopefully it will jump back in.
So we've got for Helen, for protection from unwanted... Oh no, sorry, that's in relation to another one. We'll definitely get better at this.
Do you want me to keep an eye on the Facebook ones?
It might have to.
Okay, so there is one from Helen. I was near a different crystal person. When I went near her crystals, all my chakras spun off. Trust how you feel near crystals, that only buy crystals from free sources. Oh yeah, it's a really good point. Trust how you... The first process in buying a crystal is, do you like the place where you're buying it from? You know, there's been many occasions in the past where I've I've needed a particular crystal, maybe because I've lost one or that I've been due to see a client or something like that, and I would go into somewhere and force myself to buy a crystal because I needed it, even though I didn't like the vibe of the place. It kind of goes against buying the crystal. So trust how you feel with places and people.
So someone on YouTube, it's just jumped. There it is. Kerry, crystals associated with Ceridwen. Or Ceridwen.
Ooh. Ceridwen.
Ceridwen.
So we have sodalite. So for those of you who don't know what or who Ceridwen is, she is a Celtic goddess associated with the cauldron of inspiration, and she's all about transformation and change. Crystals that can be used to either connect with her or symbolize her essence. Sodalite's really good because it likes things to be where they should be in relation to each other. Tremolite is an amazing crystal. People don't really use tremolite because it looks like a watered down, like milky grey, not particularly interesting.
It's like a bad agate.
It's like a bad agate. That's awful, isn't it? It's really great if you're going through change and transition of any type, and it helps you adjust to the situation. And we haven't really sold it, have we?
No. It is a nice crystal.
It is a nice crystal.
It's got a nice vibe to it.
Yeah, it's very centering, and so even in that sort of earthquake, even in the midst of that transition, when you're going through things and you're in the middle of that almost tornado or that hurricane, the tremolite helps you stand firm within that. I would probably throw in some sugilite in there, and I would probably use black moonstone as well, because Ceridwen likes to push those boundaries and likes you to have new experiences, but it's also nice to have that little support network while you're doing things that are kind of maybe outside of the norm. So yeah, a black moonstone. And storax, another herb.
Love storax.
One for Ceridwen.
Yummy. Saskia on Facebook has asked, crystal connected with Freya?
Oh, the deities are coming in tonight. Red garnet is one of hers. Cowslip flowers. I'm throwing out the herbs now. I don't know what is going on. Cowslip flower is also connected with Freya. Blue tiger's eye is one for Freya. So it's all about motivation, get up and go, and kind of having that end goal or an end success story to be able to aim towards, like aim high. And some people do use red tiger's eye for Freya, but that tends to be on more of a, can we say sexual? Sexual? I don't know if we can say that word on live.
Possibly. I don't know. We'll give it a try, see whether it bleeps it.
More bedroom physical is the red tiger's eye. So the blue is more kind of like having the focus of like a life goal or a life purpose or something like that. Who are we?
Freya.
Fuchsite. Also, I can't say the other way people pronounce it because it will bleep it out, or it might. No? Yes?
I don't know.
You do know. I can't say the word, but Fuchsite. So it's spelled Fuchite, or sometimes it's Site. And it's all about justice. And Freya is a very just goddess. She doesn't like causing a stir for no reason. There has to be a just cause with it. And the Fuchsite is really good for things on a karmic level, or for trying to bring about some sort of justice. And I'm sure I've got another one in my head for justice, but I'm going off on a tangent.
So another deity. What from Jess on YouTube? What crystals would you recommend for? I will forgive the pronunciation. You know it is, and you're not even going to say it. Dionysus.
Which is what pantheon?
Greek.
Yeah, Dionysus. So it depends on what aspect you're connecting with. If you're going for kind of like, we'll go for the free-spirited. I was going to say psycho crazy, but we're going to go for the free-spirited side of things. You're going to want things like pieces of citrine. Anything that is yellow or on a gold aspect will connect in with Dionysus as well as anything that is like a deep red. So you can get a red wine quartz, which is very apt for working with Dionysus. Citrine, red wine quartz. What else have we got? Snakeskin jasper or poppy jasper would be really good.
Would a snakeskin agate be on the same level?
No, but snakeskin agate would be a Ceridwen because it's transformation and change. So it's taking, Ceridwen likes to take something, change it up and have an end thing, which is the snakeskin agate. So yeah, snakeskin agate for Ceridwen. I'm trying to think what else for Dionysus. Probably pyrite as well because it's the gold success. What are you laughing at?
It's the YouTube chat. Jess has given me a word that I'm not even going to suggest saying.
Okay.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, it's a good demonetizing free word, or completely miss out the S and pronounce it as actual instead of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I've just seen one on. Oh, it's Roxy. Roxy's on. I've just seen one from Karen. It's just jumped.
Good stone for emotional protection.
Yeah, and then she's responded about her daughter. She has to make some people redundant or something. Oh, I don't know where it's gone. There was something about.
No, sorry. Go on, keep going.
I think I just saw one from Karen about daughter needs to make some people redundant this week or something, and it's about not taking on that emotional burden. What I would probably do is, rather than do that, I would probably go with something along the empowering line. So I would go with something like a carnelian or a fire quartz or a fire agate, so that she can be strong in her power. Although I guess my question would be is, what star sign is she? Because we can recommend something a bit more specific. Because yeah, if it's something that she's got to do, then yeah. And if she's in, no, maybe I made it up.
No, I saw it as well. It was one I was going to get to.
Because if she's empathic, it's really hard to try and stop that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah,
it's gone.
okay.
Yeah.
Just another one there from Helen. This weekend is Chinese New Year. Going into the wood dragon, is there a crystal that catches that energy to symbolise it? Not in one crystal, but there are two in particular. So you've got dragon jasper, and then you've got your petrified wood. The two together are literally the whole of this year. So it's all about looking at our foundations and whether our foundations are not the foundations that we've got in place. If they're not they're for the right reasons, or they're not authentic, or they're not true, the dragon energy will just rip them apart this year so that you can then remake them how they should be. So the two together would be really good. You've got your dragon energy with the dragon jasper, and then kind of that ancestral centered deep knowledge and wisdom with the petrified wood or the fossilized wood, whichever you want to call it. So the two together would be really good for Chinese New Year.
Kerry on YouTube has asked, can you suggest a good resource for crystal grids, but simple ones, not the Metatron as it's too busy?
A good resource, as in like you want somewhere for crystal grids as in the shape, or you want somewhere for the crystal grids that's going to give you the crystals as well? If you can let me know which way you want to go with it, that would be
I guess
awesome.
In the interim, could you use any kind of geometrical shape for a crystal grid?
Yeah.
Or does it need to be something specific?
So as long as it's a geometric shape, although some people don't use geometric shape, like people will use a spiral. And so as long as it's a, for me personally...
Shape, please, from Kerry.
Drop us a message and I'll send you over the templates. It's the easiest way. I'm about 90% way through our Crystal Grids workshop. So I've got quite
available on Asgard Academy.
Available. Well, it will be soon. It'll be on the Asgard Academy soon. There are some grid shapes that you could basically print out. So there's like the Seed of Life, the Flower of Life, Metatron's Cube, the Pentacle, the Hexagram, the Vesica Pisces, the beginning with the M, can't remember the word of it, the infinity symbol. There's loads. But yeah, in essence, as long as it's geometric, there's no reason why you can't put them anywhere you like. Most people would choose the crystal grid that enhances the intention of the grid. So if you were doing protection, then you would use either Metatron's cube or the pentacle, whichever you want to use. Yeah, manifestation stuff would be the flower of life, new beginnings, seed of life.
If you drop us a message on YouTube privately, we can always send you our email address if you want some of the info on them grids. Helen, we don't know about the dragon obsidian. If we find out some information, we can drop you a message. It's one that I've only just heard about tonight. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I will ask Sophie when I see her if she can find out any more information, and we'll let you know.
Yeah. And then there was one. Let you just see it. Which crystals would you say are good for grief? So I think the first one that springs to mind automatically would be Apache tear, obsidian Apache tear. A lot of people will use that after a passing. I would probably say the best thing to do is to keep it on you at all times. When my mum passed, I would have a bit permanently in my pocket, and if I ever felt like I was having them emotions coming up, I would automatically reach for that, and as well as it being a comforter, because you're then focusing that energy onto touching the crystal, holding the crystal. A lot of people will use Apache tear. That's the only one that I've ever used.
I would probably be inclined to pair it with a rose quartz, just for that emotional support. I find morganite really good for that as well. Morganite's really good for kind of nurturing. It's like morganite's like wrapping someone up in like a big fluffy blanket. Rose quartz is like by far the cheaper version, depending on how much you wanted to spend on the crystal. I know a lot of books like Judy Hall and can't remember the other dude's name, recommend things for like grounding. I don't quite know how grounding is going to help with the grieving process personally. I'd want support while going through it, so that I'm not suppressing it, I'm not ignoring it, I'm not trying to distract myself with something else. I'm actually working through that. So, and the Apache tear does that. The Apache tear lends that with it.
Could something grounding wise though could possibly help release that grief out? I say release out, it's not like you say the gates open and everything comes flooding out, but kind of having that transmutation.
It's a good question, Lorraine.
Of it.
I guess yeah. For things, if you're holding on to during the grieving process, if you're holding on to things that are,
I guess that grief's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, and you either need to transmute that, or how do you let go of grief? You transmute it, don't you? You work with it as opposed to just ignoring it.
Yeah, ignoring it isn't a great thing.
So
working with it, and I think it's with grief. I speak from personal experience. It's, for me, it was something that I learned to manage, or I'm learning to manage, because it's something that at the start it is very raw, and it just kind of gets that little bit easier as I'm going along. But everyone is different.
So I think definitely Apache tear. I would probably go with the pink. So I know sometimes people will just go for things that are connected with the heart chakra, which is great, but the higher heart chakra, which is pink, is all about you, and at that time it needs to be about you. So I would personally go with the pink based one. So your morganite, even your kunzite and your rose quartz. Just to work through it. And Sophie said something about nurturing.
Judy Hall recommends jasper as a nurturing stone for grief.
Yeah, see, and it's interesting, Judy Hall's choices of words for that, because why do you want to nurture grief? Because nurturing for me is wanting to grow something. You want to, personally, so yeah, And maybe some of the jaspers that are a bit more grounding you probably could do, but yeah, it's an interesting take on it. And it's like everyone deals with it differently, don't they? So
Yeah. Can I just ask on YouTube if it's still working? Because I've got a spinning wheel on my screen. And that's not a problem, Sandra, if it's working, if you heard that. And Hermit's Cave Lorraine. It's working good. Oh, that's fine. Thank you very much, Kerry and Simon. It's just I've got a white circle spinning around, so I just wanted to make sure. Amethyst, rose quartz, and amazonite are quite good.
oh, Amazonite,
too.
yeah, Amazonite. Amazonite is super supportive during like emotional turmoil in general. So yeah, I guess if you're going through a difficult time, yeah, I would probably go with an Amazonite with it as well.
Good choices.
Amethyst probably not my first choice, but that's because I don't associate amethyst personally with that. It's the first crystal that I ever connected with during, for want of a better word, training. And so for me, it's always been about peace, harmony, and meditation. So I guess peace, yeah. Like, I don't see why not. And I think this is the thing with crystals. There's so many options out there sometimes that it needs to be from those options what ones feel right for you. So yeah.
Ooh, so we've had a few people talking about the whole nurturing.
Oh.
So Helen has said maybe nurturing yourself through grief rather than nurturing the grief itself.
Also true.
You've got Emma has said you work through it and grounding yourself and your emotions is really important.
Yeah, I like the nurturing yourself through grief rather than nurturing grief. I just don't know if I was grieving whether I'd be in the right place to be able to nurture myself. So I guess that's why you'd want an outside source, crystal-wise.
Yeah. Helen's also said green crystals for the heart chakra.
Yeah, we
for
spoke about
grief.
them, yeah.
Hi James. Where else are we? What are your guys' so James has asked, what are your guys' thoughts on Dambarite? Got a piece a while ago and it's such an interesting stone to me. Feels very magical.
Oh, so my question would be, what type of Dambarite? Is it clear or gold? And then we can answer.
While we're waiting for James to frantically
Which
type, Lisa has said, grief is personal to everyone. Your body learns to live with the pain it makes within you and cope with the feelings. If you use a crystal to help, then always do your cleansing. Sometimes I've had to get rid, i.e. bury it, as I felt the crystal is full. That's a really good point. If you're using crystals for a specific thing, has anyone heard of crystal programming? As crystal healers, you program your crystals for specific things. Once that's kind of done, we wouldn't advise using them for something else because I think earlier on I said about crystal guardians. With some crystals you are then able, some or all guardians.
What's the
Crystal
question?
guardians in every crystal?
Yes.
Some.
Everything in nature as a guardian.
So you connect with that crystal guardian for that specific crystal, so you have that conversation, that exchange about what you would hope to achieve with that specific crystal in some crystal healing. I won't say all crystal healing, in some crystal healing. So yeah, if you're kind of using it then for something else, you're then gonna have that conflict between what that crystal was originally intended for and what you're using it for. Burying crystals, like Lisa says, is a great way of giving that crystal back. Mother Earth, Gaia, she is amazing at assisting with that transmuting from the negative into the positive so that it's able to spread around the world. Maybe with a little offering as well to Mother Earth. She takes a lot. It's always nice to give something back. So if you've got a special place in the garden, create a little place where you can plant flowers, herb offerings, stuff like that, just as a kind of a little assist for her with it. James has come back and said clear.
Good choice, because I don't like the gold. So that's the right answer. I have one piece of, sometimes they call it sunshine Dambarite or golden Dambarite. I'm not a fan. It doesn't really do huge amounts for me, but I love the cleared amberite. And you'll find that especially if you go to places like Glastonbury where there are multiple crystal shops, every now and again there will be a certain fad crystal, and like every place will have that particular one. Like last year or the year before, it was the Caribbean calcite, which isn't from the Caribbean. Everyone had the pale blue calcite because it was kind of the new thing around. I'm going off on a tangent, but I have a point, I promise. It was probably a good maybe 8-9 years ago that Damberite was also doing the rounds at the same time that the Sugilite was doing the rounds as well. And I got my piece from a shop in Glastonbury. I love the Damberite that isn't the A grade, because the A grade looks very similar to... What's going on with that? Okay. The A grade Damberite looks very, very similar to clear quartz. It's very difficult to tell the difference. If you go for the lower grade pieces of Damberite, it looks like clear selenite. So you get the striations of how it's grown, so it looks like it's been grown in lines. And I love Damberite. A lot of people use it for angelic connection, but it is a high vibration compared to something like an amethyst. So what some people would put with some of the higher chakras, so things like amethyst, celestite, angelite, apophyllite, Damberite is still above that. So
I was listening, honestly.
on a vibrational level, you're looking more within the chakra system. It's probably like the causal or the stellar gateway. So we're going pretty close to the top source wise. But I'm a big clear Damberite fan. I like it. It's not one. If I needed to spend time, for want of a better word, floating or daydreaming, great. But if I needed to get stuff done, I would not be Damberiting it at all. So it enhances spiritual practices, but you might find that you're also then bombarded with a lot of other stuff. Yeah. But one thing that I used to use it for a lot was like life purpose, trying to find my life's purpose.
Damberite beware. I shouldn't have really laughed at my own thing. That's similar to the piece I have. I decided to wrap it in my staff a year ago. Thanks for sharing, guys. Not a problem. Where did I just see? I just saw another one. It's jumped again. Alex is coming to buy crystals.
So either the guys on YouTube or Facebook, if you put a question back a while ago that we've not... Okay. This is Freya.
Say hello to Freya, everyone.
You're going to stay in the shot now, are you?
That's it. She's
done for the night now. If you put a question on a while ago that we've not got to, pop it in the chat again, because it keeps jumping. So we've lost it on both now as well. Are we done for the night?
Simon loves blue calcite.
Oh, so are we talking blue calcite? Are we talking the Caribbean calcite? Because the traditional blue calcite is amazing, and actually a point to kind of let you guys know. Somebody asked earlier on, I think it might have been James, about fake crystals. A lot of the calcites
James on YouTube. It was, yeah.
A lot of the calcites that you get are sometimes acid treated to enhance the colour. So you can tell when you're looking at it, it's got like almost like a weird shine to it. But calcite should naturally feel soapy. It's got a very definite soapy feel to it without feeling like slimy or anything like that. And a lot of calcites, well no, it's the optical calcites that grows in the rhomboid fractures. But if the colour looks too good to be true, chances are it's probably been enhanced. And they haven't changed the crystalline structure of it. They've literally just acid bathed it, acid bathed it, acid bathed.
It's probably not a good thing.
It's probably not a great thing, no.
Yeah.
But like the Caribbean calcite is natural, the blue is natural. It tends to be the red and the green. That if it's like a really vivid intensity, it's probably been acid treated.
Just for reference, Simon likes the traditional. He's not seen the Caribbean. I like the traditional blue calcite, and I'm very fond of the optical calcite.
The optical calcite is
I've got
amazing.
this thing at the moment about Norsemen using it to find their way back when. So when we last went crystal shopping, I did buy a few pieces.
Pieces.
Pieces. Yeah, I only kept one for my personal collection though. And I guess I've got a question. What's your favourite crystal?
Why'd you ask that?
Because
James has just asked the same thing.
has he?
Yeah. Do you guys have a particular favourite crystal?
Oh, I did. Damn it, James!
Or are you drawn to one as an all round one?
So me, love optical
Labradorite.
calcite, labradorite. I am infatuated with labradorite. If I could have all my jewelry, not that I wear many pieces of jewelry with crystals in, labradorite for me is, it's my escape crystal. I don't know why, but I tend to lose myself in the different colours, and whenever you turn it around, whatever way you move it, it's insane, just the vibrancy of it. And the other labradorite
Don't steal it from me.
part of crystal, yeah,
Don't do
I
it.
won't.
Don't do it.
But what I now know Chris is going to say is one that I have also just started being more drawn to, mainly because of the
The
colours.
spectralite.
Yes, absolutely amazing.
If you're a labradorite fan, try and get some spectralite. And the spectralite is not purple labradorite. It only comes from It's Norway or Finland. I can't remember where, but it's from one particular mine, and it is the dark grey blue labradorite with pink and purple flashes. The original spectralite is stunning.
So I've got a biggish bit on one of my ancestor altars, but yeah, labradorite for me is amazing. Optical calcite and pyrite.
Pyrite?
Pyrite.
Really?
You should know this. Whenever we go crystal shopping,
But why?
because I love the roughness of it. You get things like the fluorite spheres or the blue calcite spheres, and a lot of them are very smooth. With the pyrite, it's got that.
The texture.
I guess the only way I can do it is that of it. It's that roughness. No, it's the roughness, and when you see all the little inclusions in there, we've had some spheres where it's literally, it looks like someone's just chiseled away at them. But yeah, someone brought it. I'd kind of put it somewhere on the shelf so that it wasn't as attractive to people, but someone found it and they brought it. Otherwise, it would have been mine.
So there's your three.
They're my top three.
Okay.
You're only allowed three.
Three?
Choose wisely.
Okay, so for anyone that knows me fairly well, I'm a massive fluorite fiend. I love fluorite of any origin or colour or formation. So rainbow, pink, yellow, green, clear, purple. Absolutely love fluorite. I have. Can you have too much fluorite? I don't think you can.
Nope.
I have a lot of fluorite. And if I go into a crystal shop, if we've been away somewhere and we happen to stumble across a crystal shop, I will probably come out with a piece of fluorite. Not that I need any more. So fluorite is massive. And if I had to pick a piece of fluorite, I'm very fond of the blue. I love the blue fluorite, and there is some stunning bits of blue fluorite currently coming out of Pakistan, and it's amazing colour. It's like almost like a teal colour. It's stunning. Exactly, Sophie. How many is too many? Too many is when I can't fit them in anymore. In fact, there's a. Oh no, it's not. I must have moved it. I don't know if it was on the shelves.
What?
Oh, no, it's a yellow fluorite.
Oh, the yellow
Here.
cube.
Yeah, sort of there-ish.
Next to labradorite.
Next to the labradorite. Where did I get?
Fluorite was one.
Oh, fluorite's one. Kyanite. Kyanite's a big one for me. And I've recently purchased a sphere of kyanite, which is a mixture of blue and green, and it's amazing. Spectralite doesn't really count, so I get another one.
Breaking the rules.
I really like things from the UK, and I'm a big fan of Luxulionite, which is really boring because it's like a pastel orange and white, but I love the way it grows. It grows in like a clock formation, and you can get like wedges of it. No, I'm talking about Celestobarite, not Luxulionite. Luxulionite's from Cornwall. It's like an orange with black bits of tourmaline in it. I like it. It looks a bit like sandstone. If anyone's seen like the sandstone sculptures, it looks like that with bits of black in it. But then I could also have.
No,
I could have loads.
No,
I could have loads.
Yeah.
Fluorite and kyanite are my top two. But I love selenite. I love Bramberg amethyst. I love celestite.
Celestite is amazing.
Yeah.
Even there's where is it in the UK? The UV fluorite
From County Durham.
Oh, absolutely amazing. Pop it out into the sunlight and you see it literally turn from green to purple before your eyes. Magic in a crystal right there.
I love aquamarine. I love alexandrite. I've gotten a little piece of alexandrite recently. I love septarian.
Caesara.
I love Caesara.
It looks a little bit weird, but
The vulcanite, yeah.
Vulcanite. As an avid Trekkie, nothing wrong with a little bit of vulcanite.
So James says, I like labradorite. Emily knows. Emily has a really nice, dainty piece of pyrite. I love moldavite.
Okay, so
no, I'm not doing it tonight. I'm not. No. I'm not going to get into. I'll do a whole live video on my moldavite rant.
And that will be just Chris.
And it'll just
because
be like...
I will be bunkering down and trying to stay away from the pit of despair.
The boom.
That will be created with that.
And James says we need to see images of his collection. I love tourmaline as well, Saskia. I love tourmaline. I love watermelon tourmaline in particular.
Watermelon tourmaline is amazing. You need to see pictures of the collections. So what we might do is on social media, once we're able to collate all the pieces.
Sophie, I'll tune in for the moldavite
rant. On social media, we will post a few pictures of our personal crystal collection.
People are already assuming it's massive. It's really not. It's. I would say it's a moderate. No, it's moderate, which always means that it can
sounds
progress
like
to
denial.
Massive.
But it's not a bad habit to have, everyone. Not a bad habit to have if you can afford it. Obviously, rent and bills are first, and food, and then nice looking, pretty shiny crystals.
Food's overrated, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got enough reserves.
Save your stomach, buy a crystal.
Yeah.
Right, where are we? There we go.
I love blue lace agate. I love carotite.
Optical calcite is very good. Oh, that sounds lovely. Same rule as bikes. The perfect number is current number plus 1.
I love apophyllite. I love natural citrine. I'm just looking around now. You didn't say fire and ice. You love fire and ice?
But I had to pick 3.
Oh, yeah. I love Hercubidime. I've got to stop.
Smoky quartz and natural citrine for Sophie.
The natural citrine is amazing. I love the colour natural citrine.
Helen loves labradorite. Emily loves labradorite.
So I'm going to throw a question out to you guys now as well. Are there any crystals that you've thought you would like and then not had a great interaction with, or like a first encounter with? Mine was obviously moldavite, which I begrudgingly call a crystal. Anyway, mine was originally moldavite, and I have a thing with rose quartz. I'm just not drawn. If I had to pick rose quartz for one of its properties, there would always be something else that I would pick instead, like a morganite or a petalite or a kunzite.
So Kerry on YouTube has said apophyllite
as the one that you've not had a great connection with.
I don't know. I think that I don't
that
know.
apophyllite is
Confirm
your
for us,
favourite?
Kerry. Is that a favourite or a not so favourite? I guess I'm just thinking about if there's one that if I don't really for me it's got to be malachite.
Favourite.
I can take it or leave malachite, I think. It's all right to look at. I think it's the whole detox aspect of the crystals kind of made me a bit adverse of having it around. I don't think I actually have a bit of malachite.
So can I add Malacolla to one of my tops as well? I love Malacolla as well.
You had 3. You had 3.
Also, we've got on Facebook, Rose Quartz does not like me. It always breaks as soon as I put it on. Jane Borden. Yeah, interesting. It's So if you want to try and work with the essence of rose quartz, maybe try and find something that's a bit higher. So try the kunzite, the petalite, no, not the petalite, the kunzite or the morganite.
Sophie, I don't think so, but used to be repelled by carnelian, but now love it. Any thoughts on why?
Yeah, plenty.
Do you want to have this discussion on social media?
How's the jewelry making going? Yeah, so carnelian is really good for. It's one of very few crystals that will work directly on the etheric layer of the aura without you needing to do anything for it. It is the etheric layer crystal. If there's something that you need to manifest physically from an energetic thing, either be it to do with the physical body, be it something emotionally, or something like a creative project that you need to get done, it will bring it into reality. It makes it sound like it's in a different dimension, but it will bring it into the physical for you. So if there's something that you need to be doing where you've got an end product or an end physical object, be it from something that is either emotional, physical, or spiritual, it wants you to do it. So that's why a lot of people use carnelian for manifesting, because it wants you to have the thing that
Tangible
you're trying
thing.
to. Yeah, that's the word, tangible. It wants you to have something very tangible at the end of it. So
there's a little bit of a mixed reaction on YouTube. Some people aren't a fan of malachite. Simon's got so many pieces of malachite.
Go Simon.
Don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like it. I don't know whether it's because I've not really worked with it. That might be something for me to look at doing, possibly.
Live on YouTube.
What? Working with it live on YouTube. Little steps.
Yeah.
Little steps. We'll do little steps, people. Baby steps. Even have a malachite bowl to keep them in, Simon.
You have a malachite bowl. I dread to think.
We've only ever seen a box.
Put you back.
We've only ever seen a malachite box.
Set you back, not put you back.
Wow. Not a fan of rose quartz, too gentle, and also cannot be around turquoise. So turquoise or dyed howlite. So turquoise.
She says that could be the colour, not the crystal.
Ah.
Interesting. Okay.
Abigail, not a fan of malachite, but she's started using fire quartz.
Okay.
Fire quartz is a nice one. A lot of healers will use fire quartz and golden healer quartz in their workings.
Batteries, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always intrigued when people don't like crystals as the reason why. Like, is it a vibe? Is it the colour? Is it the formation? Like, you know, not
the feel.
The feel of it, yeah. It's
and I guess, do you guys do mainly tumbles and polished pieces, or do you work with the raw? Do people have raw? Do people like raw crystals? I think we've got very little.
I used to only have raw crystals, and yeah, there was just much more. Even though the crystal needs to be raw and before it's tumbled, there was much more selection of tumble stones.
Ooh.
We're being too loud. Just trying to sleep. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other crystals that I've had not great. Well, like drawn to. No, I'm not feeling drawn to. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a massive agate fan. I like blue lace agate. I like fire agate, but like the normal like grey agates and some of the dyes, I'm not. It doesn't really do anything for me, and I don't think. I'm not really a huge jasper fan either, unless it's like a weird jasper. So I like the bumblebee jasper. That's probably about it.
Helen isn't really drawn to petrified wood.
So technically not a crystal, it's fossilised wood. So yeah, I can understand why. I've only ever used it for ancestor work or like connecting into spirits of a place or the land. So I haven't had huge amounts of interaction with it personally, but I mean, I've seen some nice pieces that have been made into like tables and things like that, but I don't actually think I own any petrified wood. Do you?
No. Jackie loves lepidolite. Helped her through a huge amount of stuff.
Oh, I love lepidolite. Lepidolite's in one of my top ones as well. Yeah, lepidolite is nice, cool. I like that. And I like the fact that lepidolite, depending on where it comes from, will vary in colour massively.
I was going to say, I've got a bit of lepidolite that's like someone stuck slices on top of each other.
So that's lepidolite in mica.
Yeah, you can see all the mica in there as well. So you've got the shiny purple.
It's a really nice piece as well you've got on that one.
Sophie says thanks. Someone loves malachite because it just jumped. Helen loves malachite. Diana, hello from North Carolina.
Hello.
5 quartz and
Are you
5
waving like the
opal.
queen? Can't say queen. She's not. Oh my god. She's not here waving like the king. Did the king wave like that? I don't know.
I don't know.
Just scrap that. It's gone. That never happened.
Loves raw and polished. We've got a
Smudge. Come here.
come on, buddy.
Apologise now
Sorry.
if YouTube goes again. It's because Smudge is doing whatever he's doing.
James.
Verity, I love all crystals. Fact. Even for pigonite.
I was sat on a bench in the Abbey. That's me one time. This young boy walked around and left on the bench, came back jumping for joy after finding a piece of honey calcite behind the bench, and I was moderately jealous. Was really cool though. Made me get a piece after. So honey calcite.
Nice. So honey calcite is very, very similar to sunshine calcite, and it's just the way they vary, the way they differentiate between the two is based on the grading. The sunshine calcite is a lot paler and almost like a not golden color, like a light yellow, and the honey calcite is like a almost like an ambery yellow type color. But they both literally emanate positivity. They're amazing. I personally prefer sunshine calcite because you can see more of the rainbows in it. But the honey calcite looks like.
See, I prefer the honey calcite because for me, when you look into it, it's. I think murky is the wrong word, but it's that deep yellow. It kind of makes you just almost want to climb. It makes me almost want to climb into the honey calcite.
So Kim asks, well, next time if you could show the crystals you're talking about, if possible, please. We don't own all of these, so I will go out and buy one of each one, just to make sure that.
We were thinking about this, about whether to have a crystal, and I think the problem we kind of came up with is there's so many different crystals. You guys could have said so many different crystals. It was that kind of 50-50 shot. We decided not to. We will take notice for next time because we may do a little bit. It's the other cat. We do have two. This is Smudge. We do have some. So what we'll do is when we do the picture of our collection, we'll kind of do a photo one has got these crystals in, just so you guys are able to kind of have a look and see what they look like from the ones that we've spoken about today. It's exhaustive, the list, so yeah, there may be a few photos on social.
Helen says you could do this in the shop if you have lots in the shop, but it's very true.
And I guess the problem is we didn't want it to then possibly end up becoming
a sales thing.
Yeah. So which is why we've kind of taken ourselves out of the shop, so we then haven't got someone going, oh, how much is that one? Can you put that to one side? Rightly or wrongly, it's just the way that we decided to do it. So
it was on there. Oh, Verity, Jack said I should ask if you had any of that, and I said no. We've actually only got one piece, and it's going nowhere. I think I said to you last time we saw you, Verity, that I couldn't find it. We have found it, so it's gonna stay as part of our little
personal collection. On YouTube, abalone shell, although not an earth-based crystal, Kerry loves. Have some bloodstone runes from our shop. What could I keep them in to keep them cleansed and charged? And that's from Jacka.
Ooh, keep them cleansed and charged. Easy answer is nothing, because nothing is. Oh no, I'm lying. I'm completely lying, because there are other crystals that you can keep with them to keep them cleansed and charged. So somebody asked earlier on, was it James, I think, about the different types of cleansing? No, it was a lady on Facebook, on YouTube. Someone asked earlier
No.
about the cleansing.
Yeah.
One of the ways that you can cleanse and charge crystals is by using other crystals.
I didn't
But
even
you can
say that. Yeah.
only, I totally forgot, you can only use certain crystals. So, for example, either kyanite or selenite will cleanse other crystals. Or if you've got something that has multiple points, so like a cluster or a bed. So some people will have what is called a charging plate or a charging bed, which is basically like a flat piece of amethyst or a apophyllite that people will then pop crystals onto. That will charge and cleanse. Otherwise, selenite and kyanite will cleanse other crystals, and carnelian or fire agate or fire quartz will charge other crystals. So what you could do is pop a piece of selenite or kyanite into the bag to cleanse your runes, and then a piece of carnelian or fire agate / quartz in to keep them charged. If you are going to put a piece of tumbled or rough kyanite in, I'd probably wrap it in something because it will break. It's so fragile. I had a really nice kyanite wand that I put into a bag that I used to keep on me quite a lot, and it was ended up being in pieces. So yeah.
And I'll always use a piece of blue kyanite in my tarot to keep them fresh. I'm not. I must not buy crystals, any more crystals, but sugilite, black moonstone, and snakeskin agate are now on the list from Kerry.
But out of those
Sorry.
three, black moonstone, at the moment, I think it was the end of last year, there was a really good batch of, well, not a good batch, an amazing batch of black moonstone that came out of Madagascar, and the depth of the black in it is phenomenal. Like the normal black moonstone is almost like a murky grey, but the black moonstone that was coming out of Madagascar, it was last year or it might have been the year before, was just it was amazing. I'm sure we kept some pieces. Yeah.
Gem Daisies are on YouTube.
Yeah.
Does tumbling a crystal change its vibrational energy?
Oh, controversial, Gem. It comes down to personal preference with it, because technically you're not changing the crystalline structure. So by tumbling a crystal, some people will say you're just naturally enhancing what is already there. Other people will say it's not a natural process that it's gone through, although you can get naturally tumbled crystals that have been like naturally worn down in a river and things like that. So it comes down to personal preference as to whether you feel like it changes it. If you don't want to use the tumble stones or the polished crystals because they've been tampered with in some way, the actual crystalline structure has not changed. But if you only want to stick with the raw, it's going to be really difficult. You're going to limit yourself into the things you can use because there's more things available tumbled than there is raw, if that makes sense. So some things, because of the fragility of things, you will only get them in tumbled format rather than in rough pieces.
Really? Because I would have thought then tumbling them would have made them. I love that word, fragility, by the way. Would have made them even more fragile.
Some of them are hand polished. Some of them are hand. Like the celestite is all hand tumbled now because it's so fragile, and some of the selenite is hand polished.
Wow.
So, like, does it change the vibrational essence? No. Does it? What is he eating? Sorry, the cat's decided to start eating something in the hallway. What is it? Where has he got that from?
No idea.
So the cats decided to start eating Lego because they haven't got enough food. What was I going with? Vibrational. So does it change the actual structure and the vibrational essence of it? No. Will it change the vibration of its auric field? Yes. But it's just personal preference as to whether you want to use it or not. Yeah. So, are you coming back, or am I going to have to jump screens?
No, it's fine. I'll be back in a second.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly check Facebook. Kim, was any talking about my first crystal workshop? You have any opportunities? In front of me. Yeah, I remember. I remember that workshop as well. It was one of my very first workshops over in Essex. Helen, the Crystal Grid workshop will be on the Asgard Academy, so it'll be one you can just do whenever you like. I'm about 90% of the way through it, but every time I start doing a course at the moment, it ends up I end up going, oh, I'm going to add this, I'm going to add this, I'm going to add that. So something that was like 4 lessons is ending up a lot bigger. So.
Lisa Marie Jones, Rose and Amethyst. Tried the raw and tumble for both. Neither resonate with me, and if I'm using them for other people's healings, I have to ground myself and protect with a bit of extra effort.
Oh, interesting.
Do you remember when we were in Hertfordshire? We had a lady that got really angry with the rose quartz.
Wasn't it fluorite?
No, I thought it was rose quartz.
Was it?
Because we were both a bit flabbergasted at the anger that she said she had after holding it.
Yes. Yeah. And looking back now, she probably needed that rose quartz as the self-acceptance side of things. Yes, I know, I do remember. It was the introduction to Crystals Night.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Wow.
Where are we? Good excuse to go shopping. Love the warmth of honey calcite. Definitely Sophie.
So just looking at a time check as well, we're running. Where have we been?
Right.
Like,
wow, it's quarter to 10.
I know. So we're probably going to stop around 10 o'clock ish. So we just give you guys a chance to throw any more questions in. Please do drop us a message afterwards, just giving us any feedback. And if there's anything you want to see in future videos, so I've got ones like pre-sorted for the kind of walkthroughs with some of the spellcraft stuff. So for those of you that aren't into the witchcraft thing, even though we are a witchcraft emporium,
magical apothecary.
It is going to be very much kind of pagan, Norse, Celtic witchcraft focused anyway. We just thought we'd do the crystals one because it's
an easy one to get acquainted with.
Yeah.
The mass setup of cameras and lights.
So yeah. So yeah, you've probably got about 15 minutes and then we're going to end the live stream this time round. Yeah.
I can't see any other...
So yeah, if anyone's got any questions that we haven't answered, please pop them in the chat now, because I don't know where the chat's gone, it's just been jumping around all over the place, so we will...
Sandra would love that, especially Celtic witchcraft.
Celtic witchcraft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liz, you did say food was underrated. This has been great. Hope you do more from Kerry.
And I'm going to apologise now as well if some of you on the chat know us, but we haven't like connected back, because some of you don't have like the same pictures. So I'm like, I don't know who that person is, and I might only know you by your first name, or might just recognise you from coming into the shop or sending a message online.
So happy to see and hear you both. Made my day.
We miss you as
lots,
well.
Thank you. Yes, Miss Lisa.
Have you moved yet? And if you haven't, when are you moving?
And when are you coming in if you haven't moved?
And yeah, and if you have moved, let us know when the spare room is sorted, and then we'll get you set up on academy teaching in Cyprus.
Abroad. Let's just go with abroad.
Do you have any to tell real fake toes? Yes. Easy one. Rachel, the tea shop isn't happening. Rachel, why? We spoke about this. Do the tea shop. Rachel's been blending her own teas and stuff. She should be doing a tea shop. A TikTok channel. Right, okay. Next time she comes in. Do you find it easy how to tell real from fake turquoise? Any tips? Yes, a lot of the fake turquoise tends to feel a bit plasticky, and the colour is way too uniform. If you find it's a blanket colour, if you're looking at like the Mexican turquoise, you'll find that it's also not a smooth surface.
Yeah, it's literally all bubbles.
Bubbles, yeah. It's almost like it's got really small bubbles that have been blown into it, which has changed the surface. And ideally, in those cracks that you'd get where those bubbles have formed, you'll see lines of the dark bedrock or whatever it's grown in. And if the turquoise looks way too perfect, it probably is not real, unless it's a really, really high quality piece of turquoise, and the price will give it away.
I was going to say, but you would pay for a high end piece of Mexican. We've got Mexican and Chinese turquoise. Or is
Yeah,
it
the
Indian?
Chinese turquoise is awful.
Yeah, but
Well, no, it's not awful. It's just different. It's a different variety of turquoise.
yeah, depending on what part of the world you're looking at turquoise, you might not see it as vibrant as in some other places. James has said on YouTube, not crystal related, but that bowl in the window keeps grabbing my attention. So it's
The singing bowl.
the singing bowl, yeah, on YouTube.
Oh.
You can see it in there.
I don't think we really ever use it. To be fair,
I haven't used it in years. That's probably just hurt a lot of people's ears.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. To be fair, when we first got the cats, this was their bed. They slept in this together.
Spiritual kiddies.
They had loads of beds, loads of cat trees, and they chose to sleep in this together.
And apologies for anyone's ears if that's just made it like ring uncontrollably.
Yeah, if anyone's got headphones in.
Prior warning may have been good.
Oh no.
Please put bowl down, Helen. We did. Currently UK until that's done, going over Easter time. Spare rooms are ready. I don't think there's been any other questions. So
Awesome. Well, I guess
that's it.
everything. I think so.
Not
Thank you guys
bad.
very much for joining us. I hope it's not been too boring and you've at least got a little laugh out of it.
Yeah. Apologies for the break on YouTube.
Did it actually cut out?
I don't think it cut out, but I think people just kind of saw us go.
Like right. The
Like
roller
that.
coaster ride.
Yeah. And maybe the floor they may have seen. I'll watch it back later and just be like, oh no.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yes. Right. Oh, hang on. When's the next broadcast? Liz, this took us well over a year to do a broadcast on YouTube. It was a year since the last one that I'd done. Sarah, lovely to see you both. We saw your carpet. Oh, that's amazing. Next broadcast will be happening soon. That's a total cop out. I know.
It's a complete cop out.
We will have a discussion about what the next one will be on.
We'll try and do maybe every 4 to 6 weeks a live Q&A on something, but then there'll be other ones like at random times. So we might do one for a full moon for something. I've got one that I wrote last year or year before last, when we were doing the live ceremonies, to do a witch's protection bottle for the home. So there's things like that will just booked in as and when. So the best thing to do, if you don't already, is follow us on social media. You can sign up to the mailing list via the website, but we never send a mailing list out. We tend to just use social media instead. So Instagram or Facebook. Obviously subscribing on it sounds just that cliche thing. Like and subscribe on
like,
YouTube.
subscribe, hit that bell so you receive all notifications.
Yeah.
I need to get back into the flow of saying that on the
Yes, please,
videos.
everybody message him and harass him and get him to do the YouTube videos.
I will do, the next YouTube video will be on one of our kits. I know I said it before, but it will be on our ritual candle crafting kits, on how to make them and put them all together as the next pre-recorded. I'm currently going to be out of action for a couple of weeks. Nothing major, but once I'm back and able to lift stuff, that will be the next one that I will be doing on social media.
Rachel says on Facebook, that would be great. A follow along, perhaps. Yeah, it's yeah, we absolutely will. So we'll do the Q&A so we can interact with you guys, and then the other lives that we do will be more kind of like going along together with.
Yeah, we'll do stuff together, so it won't be rushed, and we'll put lists up of things that you may need, and you know, we totally understand that everyone has a work in life. It doesn't cost an arm, a leg, and 3 toes to do stuff, so there will always be that good bit of kitchen witchery. So have a rummage in your spice cupboards, and you know, root round the back of the cupboards to have a look, see if you've got any candles. Don't forget, candle is always good if you are in a pinch and you need to use a colour. I think everyone wants regular lives.
So random. Really?
Yeah, regular lives.
I'm sure they're only saying that because they want to see the cats.
Yeah, most definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much for logging on and putting up with our shenanigans. The cats say thank you as well. You made their night. Anything for a bit of airtime.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys very much. We hope you're all keeping safe and well. If we see you in the shop, please say that you have been on the live, and if you were chatting, let us know who you were.
We put name to the face.
Name to the face.
Face to the name.
That's the one.
Face to the name.
We try and remember as many people as possible, but yeah, I might remember your face, but I'm probably not going to remember your name. I'm really sorry. But yeah, thank you guys very much for joining us. So we hope you got something out of it. Any questions, comments, drop us a message, or any suggestions for future things. If there's something that you maybe want to put out there, and see if we'll do a live video on it, then yeah, please do.
If we can, we will.
So yeah, have a good rest of the night, what's left of it, unless of course you're not in the UK and you've got a whole day ahead of you.
Yeah.
Thank you
See
very
you later.
much. Bye.